Hey there! Welcome back to American Lingo Academy. I'm Luna, and today we're going to learn another 10 common English phrasal verbs that native speakers use all the time. These phrasal verbs are very useful, and I promise, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what they mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. All right, let's get started. Number 1. Bring up. This phrasal verb means to start talking about a topic or to mention something in a conversation. When you bring something up, you introduce it into the discussion. It's super common when we want to talk about something that might be important or maybe a little sensitive. For example, imagine you're having dinner with your family and you want to talk about your vacation plans. You might say, "I want to bring up our summer vacation. Where should we go this year?" You're introducing the topic so everyone can discuss it together. Here's another one. Let's say your friend seems upset and you're worried about them. You could say, "I didn't want to bring it up, but are you okay? You seem a little sad today." You're mentioning something that you noticed because you care about your friend. Number 2, brush off. This means to ignore something or to treat it as unimportant. When someone brushes something off, they act like it doesn't matter, even if it actually does. You can brush off a comment, a concern, or even a person. For example, imagine your coworker gives you some advice about a project, but you don't think it's helpful. You might brush off their suggestion by saying, "Oh, don't worry about it. I've got everything under control." You're politely ignoring their input. Here's another one. Maybe your friend is trying to apologize for forgetting your birthday, but you want them to know it's okay. You could say, "Hey, just brush it off. It's no big deal. We can celebrate next weekend." You're telling them not to worry about it because it's not that important to you. Number 3, brush up. This phrasal verb means to practice or review something you already learned so you can improve or remember it better. We usually brush up on skills or knowledge that we haven't used in a while. For example, let's say you studied Spanish in high school, but you haven't spoken it in years. Now you're planning a trip to Mexico. You might say, "I need to brush up on my Spanish before we go. I've forgotten so many words." You want to practice and refresh your memory. Here's another one. Imagine you have a job interview coming up and you want to prepare. You could say, "I'm going to brush up on my interview skills this weekend. I want to make a great impression." You're reviewing and practicing so you'll be ready. Number 4, bubble over. This means to become very excited or full of emotion, so much that you can't contain it. When something bubbles over, it's like a pot of water boiling. The feelings just spill out. It's usually used for positive emotions like happiness or excitement. For example, imagine your little sister just found out she got accepted into her dream college. She's so happy she can't stop smiling and talking about it. You could say she's bubbling over with excitement. She's been calling everyone to share the good news. Her joy is overflowing and she can't keep it inside. Here's another one. Let's say you're at a party and your friend just got engaged. They're telling everyone the story with so much energy and happiness. You might say, "Look at them. They're just bubbling over with joy." It's so sweet to see. Their emotions are spilling out because they're so thrilled. Number 5, buck up. This is an encouraging phrase that means to cheer up or to become more positive and brave. When you tell someone to buck up, you're asking them to stop feeling sad or discouraged and to be stronger or more hopeful. For example, your friend didn't get the job they wanted, and they're feeling really down about it. You might say, "I know it's tough, but you need to buck up. There are plenty of other opportunities out there." You're encouraging them to stay positive and keep trying. Here's another one. Maybe you're feeling nervous before a big presentation at work. Your colleague notices and says, "Come on, buck up. You've prepared really well, and you're going to do great." They're trying to boost your confidence and help you feel braver. All right, my friends, if you're enjoying this lesson and learning these useful phrasal verbs, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We post fresh, helpful English lessons every single day, and I'd love to have you here as part of our learning community. Okay, let's continue. Number 6. Bucket down. This is a fun way to say it's raining very heavily. When it buckets down, the rain is pouring like someone is dumping buckets of water from the sky. It's a very British expression, but Americans understand it too. For example, you plan to go for a walk in the park, but when you look outside, the rain is coming down really hard. You might say, "Oh no, it's absolutely bucketing down out there. I think we should just stay home today." The rain is so heavy that going outside doesn't seem like a good idea. Here's another one. Imagine you're driving home from work and suddenly the weather changes. The rain starts pouring really hard. You could call your family and say, "I'm going to be late. It's bucketing down and I can barely see the road." You're explaining that the heavy rain is slowing you down. Number 7. Buckle down. This means to start working seriously and with focus, especially when you have something important or difficult to do. When you buckle down, you stop procrastinating and get to work. For example, let's say you've been relaxing all weekend, but you have a big exam on Monday. You realize you need to study. You might say, "Okay, it's Sunday afternoon. I really need to buckle down and study for this test." You're deciding to focus and work hard. Here's another one. Imagine your company has a big deadline coming up, and your boss wants everyone to concentrate. They might say in a meeting, "All right, team, we have 1 week left. It's time to buckle down and finish this project." They're asking everyone to work seriously and stay focused. Number 8. Buckle under. This means to give up or to collapse under pressure or stress. When someone buckles under, they can't handle the difficulty anymore, and they surrender or fail. It's usually used when things get too hard or overwhelming. For example, imagine your coworker has been working really long hours with a lot of stress, and finally they just can't take it anymore. You might say, "I'm worried about him. He's been under so much pressure, and I'm afraid he's going to buckle under the stress." You're concerned that the pressure is too much for them to handle. Here's another one. Let's say a small business is struggling financially, and they owe a lot of money. Eventually, they can't pay their bills anymore. You could say, unfortunately, the company buckled under the financial pressure and had to close down. They couldn't handle the stress and difficulties, so they gave up. Number 9. Buckle up. This is a very common phrase that means to fasten your seatbelt in a car or plane. But it can also be used as a warning that something exciting, difficult, or intense is about to happen. You're telling someone to get ready. For example, you're driving your kids to school and they jump in the car. Before you start driving, you say, "Okay, everyone, buckle up. We're leaving now." You're reminding them to put on their seatbelts for safety. Here's another one. Maybe you're about to watch a really intense movie with lots of action and surprises. You could turn to your friend and say, "Buckle up, this movie is going to be wild." There are so many crazy twists. You're warning them to get ready for an exciting experience. Number 10. Budge up. This is a friendly and informal way to ask someone to move over a little bit to make room for you. It's mostly used in British English, but it's easy to understand. When you ask someone to budge up, you want them to scoot over so you can sit down too. For example, you're at a crowded party, and there's a couch with a few people sitting on it. You want to sit down too, so you ask nicely, "Hey, can you budge up a bit? I'd love to sit down." You're asking them to move over so there's space for you. Here's another one. Imagine you're on a bus, and the seat next to your friend has just enough room for one more person. You could say, "Budge up a little. I want to sit with you." Your friend moves over slightly, and now you both have a spot. And there you have it, my friends. 10 super useful phrasal verbs that you can start using right away in your everyday English conversations. I really hope this lesson helped you feel more confident with these expressions. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. share it with your friends who are learning English, and don't forget to subscribe to American Lingo Academy because we post new lessons every single day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing, and remember, you're doing amazing. Bye for now.